We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order.
This crusade, this war on terrorism, is going to take a while.
We came, we saw, we died.
We tortured some folks.
Yourselves to these unnatural men with machine minds and machine hearts. You are not machines, you are not cattle, you are men. You have the love of humanity in your hearts. You don't hate, only the unloved hate, the unloved and the unnatural. Soldiers, don't fight for slavery, fight for liberty.
And the pod has been parked. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. It's episode 34 of Dave versus Goliath, coming to you live from some place in time. We are not joined by Dan tonight. Somewhere lost in the cosmos. Haven't seen him since the last transmission when we lost him halfway through the Anthony Samaroff episode. So hopefully we'll find him back here sometime soon. In the meantime, we have a great guest tonight. But before that, guys, if you're watching the show, please share it, because it's a miracle that you're even seeing it, since I'm banned pretty much everywhere that you can be. Which, by the way, we're on TikTok now. That's right. CCP in the house. I don't give a shit. I'll stream anywhere, do whatever, put out content, anybody who'll let me at this point. But we're on Facebook, as you can see, scrolling at the bottom there. YouTube, Odyssey, Apple Podcast, Spotify, Instagram, all that good stuff. And lurking in the wings in Twitter. But don't tell anybody. And if you're watching live with us right now, I really appreciate you for being here. And one last thing. If you could leave your boy a review, a nice one, 4 or 5 stars preferable, on iTunes and the old streaming platforms, that would be great. Guys, my guest tonight, he's a stand-up comedian. He's a fellow libertarian. He's the co-host of The Cult of Us, as well as the lone host of The Porcupine. You know him, you love him. Funny man, Adam Nutter. Adam, what's up, buddy?
Yo, what's up? So it's funny when we say funny man. I had other I had other comics see anyway you were posting like, hey, Adam's gonna be on the podcast. Someone like funny man, Adam Nutter. To comics, that's like an insult.
It is?
Yes, because it's like you're civilian in the comedy, not a comic, so you don't get it. Like, if I call another a comic a funny man, it's like being like
a clown.
You're the
like
least funny person.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. So if I said like seriously, very funny man, Adam. Oh, that's fucking beat, dude.
Yeah. So they were like, that's your nickname. I was like, fuck you, Dave.
Oh man, I really set you up for success there. I'm feeling bad about it.
I trash all Saturday night on my show for
Jesus. Oh man, kicking it off, batting 1,000 here. Yeah, dude, I thought that was just like what they would say like before, Carson or something. Funny man, Jerry Seinfeld.
It became like the hack insult over time.
Well, let it be known, dude, I am a fan of yours, and
thank you.
Yeah, I meant that you were actually funny and you were actually a man. So
that's what I was telling them. I was like, no, you guys don't get it. I was sticking up for you like a battered wife. I was like, no, Dave's a good guy.
He doesn't know shit. He's not in our world. Oh man, yeah, you tell him that I didn't mean that. But dude, yeah, thanks for being here. We'll switch it up next time. So for anybody who doesn't know you, dude, you're a comedian. You're a libertarian. You're always podcasting, always doing shows.
Gotta keep busy.
Yeah, I see it, man. So just like kind of maybe give the rundown on like how you. I know you've had some jobs before this, but how did you like as an adult man? You landed in stand-up comedy, which I just think is so badass. It's like the only thing tougher I think than probably like battle rapping.
Yeah, that's definitely harder.
Yeah. How did you get into that, brother?
Well, actually, I started at like 18 years old, technically. Because I'm from Staten Island, New York, which is, obviously New York City. So Manhattan was right there for me, which is like one of the 2 best cities in the world for comedy, LA and New York. Mm-hmm. So LA's fucking trash, by the way. And not even for like all the woke shit. They just
Yeah.
like those comics are fucking. There's like a handful of good ones, and the rest are fucking dog shit. I'll get to that in a second. So like New York was like the best place for me to fucking start. So my very first open mic ever was at the comic strip in New York City, like upper. I think it's like 71st, and it's like it was like a failing club back then, still a failing club, but like Jerry Seinfeld made his name there, so it was like it holds weight, like the name holds weight, but it's not like good anymore. Like the comic strip is kind of shit. But my very first, so I was 18, started there, and then like I was doing it for a few years, but like you don't make money right away, and I was young, and my parents were like, "It's cool you're doing comedy, but like money, you're gonna make money," and I was like. Yeah, I guess. So then that's when I did my other stuff. But then I got back into it at 26. I'm 35 now. So I say 26, 27. So the last 10 years I've been doing like stand-up, like purely just stand-up and podcasts and stuff like that. So it was a journey for sure.
Hell yeah, man. And it's not tough. I played in bands for a lot of years. And like, I imagine there's lots of, I know you're a married man at this point, but, couch surfing and, doing what you can and maybe doing free gigs or cheap gigs when you have to just to get the exposure. And
dude, that's all you do. Like your first few years in comedy, it's just like you don't get paid. Like you just do because like you need the stage time. And open mics, let's be honest, aren't they're not shows, they're open mics, right? So like open mic comedy is just you and a bunch of other comics who aren't listening to you. They're worried about their own thing. And then you go up there, you could have the best set, won't matter, it's a bomb. And then you fucking walk out and you go, did that benefit me in any way? Not really. I mean, it does like for like cadence and stuff like that. Like timing and stuff still helps, but like you're not getting real feedback because like comedy, like any other form of entertainment, it's like a bunch of scumbags who just fucking don't care about themselves and not you. So you have to find like your group of people who are cool, like which I've done now for 10 years, and you ride with those people. And everyone else can fucking eat shit. Who cares? Like they're always gonna be miserable and fucking sad and hateful in their heart because they're failures. And it's like it is what it is. So yeah, it's just a weird journey. But like you just fucking always do free. And then like your very first like time you do like a show, it's like at a bar. And like no one wants to be. Like no one in the audience wants to be there. The comics don't want to be there. You're like, this is so awesome. And like, it's just your first show. And then you finally get paid. I remember the first thing I got paid, it was $20. I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. Cause like you actually got paid off of like your work,
Hell yeah.
And then from there, hopefully you build but like for the first few years, it's fucking trash. Now I finally 10 years later, you could do it. But like, it sucks for a few years.
Hell yeah, man. You mentioned like, kind of like finding your squad or whatever. I know you do a lot of stuff. You do the Cult of Us podcast with Neil Wood, who you guys both came out, did our Libertarian Party of Delaware post-party convention. And man, you guys both absolutely fucking crushed it.
Oh, thanks, man.
And I just saw you guys on Real Ass Podcast, Gas Digital. So I was just thinking, man, this has to be a really cool time for you, like both of you guys. And I was thinking about comic, like working together. Are you guys like? I'm going to use all the fucking nomenclature. They're going to make fun of you again. Are you like 100%. A comic? Are you a comic troupe or like a? No. You guys do all the stuff. You don't do everything together.
We do our own gigs, obviously too. We all get booked for different stuff. Also, Neil's not a libertarian, and he's also not openly political like I am. So he'll get more gigs than I do in some places because I'm automatically blacklisted like as a Nazi. So I've been told from people like, oh yeah, that guy won't ever book you because he thinks you're like a fucking white supremacist.
Wow, you're already there. That means it's working though, dude. That's cool.
Yeah, so we do our own gigs separately from each other, but obviously we're boys and we have the podcast together and we have our own company together, the Drop Tent Media Network that we do shows and podcasts with and stuff. So yeah, we own a business together. But no, we don't. It's not we go up there on stage together like the fucking Sklar brothers and be like, like Neil.
I wouldn't have even suggested that. But like even like Legion of Skanks, like I would imagine those guys are stronger now because they had a unit. Like they always had each other's back, right?
Well, Jay used to take Dave and Lewis on the road all the time because Jay was always a bigger comic. Even today, he still is a bigger, more popular, and he's the best comic on that fucking show. I mean, they'll tell you that too. Like he's one of the funniest people in fucking America. So yeah, but like just doing road gigs, fucking having your friends to support you and like fall on each other and also like go over material with, because like your friends will be honest with you. Like, yo, I wrote this joke. Like, oh, that joke is trash. You should rewrite that joke. You're like, all right, good call.
Dude, creative people can't surround themselves with yes men.
No.
You know what I mean? That's what happens when you
nightmare.
get like super popular. I think that happened to Eminem at some point. Like once you go diamond,
Yes.
like nobody will tell you that, yo, bro, I don't know. That
Like,
rap, it was cool
this
because
is
you were
bad,
fast, but
right?
it was like, yeah, it's got to be like, you got to flow or something. I don't know. Nobody would ever
once
say
you make
that.
it to like a level, and you, like you said, if you just get people who are like, yeah, man, like whatever, you're gonna pay me money, right? It's like it's not helpful. It's like you want people to be like, hey, dude, that sucks. Like that joke sucks, or like
Start
that's
over,
not
dude.
funny, or like, or maybe like this tag is funnier than this other tag you had. Like it's always better to have that than just be like, yeah, that's funny. You're like, was it? I didn't think it was funny. Like, you know,
I'm not sure it was. Right. So who were some of your influences growing up, comedic wise, obviously?
Patrice O'Neill is my favorite comic of all time. Rest in peace to the goat. He was the funniest motherfucker ever. But besides him, like I grew up on like the old Opie and Anthony days.
Mm-hmm.
So like Jim Norton, Bill Burr before he was famous, Louis C.K. before he was really big, you know, Bob Kelly, Rich Voss, like all those guys I grew up listening to. It was like, oh, that's what made me want to get to comedy. Like really, I was always like, I always loved comedy, right? But like listening to them every day, I would listen to Opie and Anthony, you know, I was like, oh shit, I think like this is definitely what I want to try to do. And like just listen to all those guys' experiences, and you know, you just fucking do it. Now, as I get older, like Tom Segura is very good. You know, like Jim Jeffries is always fucking great. Fucking who else is out there? Obviously Dave Chappelle, like, you know, GOAT. But like, yeah, but Patrice was my number one, easily, hands down. Like again, I admire Big J still like a lot. Like he's really fucking funny, you know. And that's weird because it's like, you know, it's weird to like say that to people you kind of know because it sounds like I'm like cucking to Big J, but like he's hilarious. Like you know, he really is the fucking the one of the funniest dudes I've ever fucking seen. So there's a lot of fucking funny comics out there. A lot of trash, a lot of funny comics though too. But yeah, but Patrice has always been number one for sure. He's easily number one.
Yeah,
for me.
I think he's Dave Smith's favorite comic too. And yeah, man.
He's a lot of people's favorite comics.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that's really goddamn a shame. Greg Giraldo, I remember.
Greg Giraldo was great, dude. Mitch Hedberg, like all those guys were fucking great, and all drugs and being fat killed them.
Yeah, man, tragedy.
I know. It's like, just don't be fat. Like, fuck, just lose weight.
Speaking of fat comedies, this was John Candy's birthday today.
Oh, was it really?
Fat comedians, excuse me. And he was fucking brilliant, and he, you know, probably drank himself and ate himself to death.
Belushi.
Yeah.
Not really a stand-up, just but like another funny dude. Chris Farley, another funny dude. Yeah, a lot of guys fucking go to the bottle or drugs, whatever the fuck. I mean, I know a bunch of. I'm totally sober for everything right now. Like I haven't smoked weed. I haven't drank.
Are you doing
like
the month thing? You're doing sober October?
I think I told a story on Call of Us, but 2 months ago I was having like chest pains and shit, and I called my doctor. I was like, hey, I'm having like chest pains. What should I do? He's like, go to the emergency room. What do you like, right now? I'm like, oh, okay. So like I went there and they ran like every fucking test in the world on me. Like every fucking test, like blood clots, this, that. I know I don't have the jab, for anybody wondering. No, I don't. So I was like, well, what the fuck is like the pain? And the ER doctor was like, you said you vape weed, right? I was like, yeah. He's like, you possibly were smoking so much that you pulled some of your muscles in your fucking chest, and by doing that you feel like you can't breathe because like you get a tightness right here, and then like you feel like you're having like a heart attack almost, but you're not at all. It's just like your muscles around you constricting your lungs and shit, and it hurts. And he's like, it could be that, it could be you pulled your muscles from something else, but he's like, I would just chill. And I was like, done. So
wow,
I just took a break for 2 months. I was telling my wife I took one hit the other day, like a week ago. The first time in 2 months because I was like super tired. Like I just got to go to fucking sleep. And I got fucking really high. Just walked into my bed and fell right to sleep. Like, it was like, I was supposed like to be high again. But yeah, I was smoking definitely too much for sure. Like, you know, even my wife would be like, you were getting crazy with it. Like, it was like too much. I was like, yeah, I think you're right. Yeah. So I'm just totally sober from everything. Like I haven't drank in 8 years or something like that. You know, I have like,
you haven't had a sip in 8 years.
No. When I was in Mexico, I go to Mexico once a year with my wife, and I had like 4 pina coladas and like 1 strawberry daiquiri the whole time. But like, I don't even finish it because I don't really like it, like any booze really anymore. Yeah. So I was just like, this is whatever. Because the last time I went to Mexico, I didn't have anything. I smuggled weed down there, but like, it doesn't really.
Most important thing.
Yeah,
I was talking with my buddy the other day. He's like, "What would you get? Would you give up coffee over weed?" I was like, "Yeah, absolutely. I love coffee. I drink it every day. Yeah, I'd give that up. I'd give up booze in a second. The weed would be the last thing to go if I had to go. So yeah, I'm proud of you, man. But everything in moderation.
I feel different. Like everything's like I'm not having existential crises all the time. That's pretty cool.
Oh, okay. So did weed give you like paranoia and shit like that sometimes?
It started to at the end. Like the more and more of years I was doing it, I noticed myself like I always thought I was dying or like I was going to die. Not even like oh, I have cancer, like that stuff too. But it was also just like constantly thinking about like the end of the world or like what's going to happen when I die or like is there anything afterwards? Like what if there is there a heaven? Is there a hell? Is there nothing? Like I don't want that. I want to live forever. Like I was going every night by myself. I would just fucking be thinking that, like playing fucking Madden or like Call of Duty or something like that, just like losing my fucking mind, dude.
Yeah, that's not why that's not why most people smoke weed, is to put themselves through anxiety-ridden nightmares.
Yeah, nightmare. Yeah. It really was a nightmare. So like I will say it's been nice not smoking for sure. Like it's been a pleasure. Like I thought it would be hard. And like the first week was hard. The first 2 weeks even was kind of hard because it's like a habit. It's not like the addiction of weed, right? Because you can't really get addicted to weed. I mean, medically you can't, but like it's the habit of like always having like just or almost like an oral fixation, really. Just always like you go up to your mouth, and then like for comedy. Jesus Christ, I would smoke before every fucking show, after every show, like, sometimes on stage, like just fucking take a hit of it. And like that is gone. So it was like, I was nervous for that just to see how I would perform differently. It's pretty much the same though, like performing with or without weed. It doesn't really fucking matter. Personally to me, it doesn't really fucking matter. It may have hurt like creatively a little bit because you think differently for sure. Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking more just linear now and not like my thoughts aren't going everywhere. Yeah. But it's like I just adapt to it a little differently. But it's fine. Like I'm fine with it. Just not smoking all the time.
Yeah. So this will be a thing that like when you feel like having a hit, you will take one, but most days you'll probably just chill or.
Yeah, I think that's what it's gonna be. Like maybe if I'm really fucking tired and I just can't I know I'm tired, but you just like you're awake and you just can't sleep. Like, you just gotta get to fucking sleep. Maybe, yeah, sure. Maybe before like a big event, if I don't want to be there, I just want to check out. Sure, like a wedding. I have 2 of those coming up. One I want to go to, one I do not want to go to. so one I'm in and one I'm not in, and I'm like, oh, that's probably a good time to just like take a hit there.
Yeah. Just fucking check out for this one, man.
Yeah, I'd be like, this wedding's awesome now.
That's funny. Well, that's cool, man. I wish you Godspeed on that. I'm probably gonna smoke a bowl when I get done this here podcast with my lady, but I'll keep that shit in check. Whatever. Maybe I'll take next sober October. I'll take a break with you guys.
Yeah.
All right, it's cool. We heard I heard about the guys that you like, and they're all good. And I see where the cut of your jib comes from these guys. I get that. Who do you think, man? Who are some of the comedians that have disappointed you? Can you answer that? Like I've been disappointed by some comedians over the past couple years.
Like are their personal stuff, like their politics, or whatever, or just like their comedy?
Yeah, shortly? Kind of like their corporate lean, or their maybe doing like Stephen Colbert is a great example of just a complete corporate cuck that will just do the dance of whatever.
Yeah, he used to be great, but like I never looked at Colbert as a comic though. Like, like I'm very pure in my like who I think is a comedian or not. Like I'll give you like Jim Carrey, right? Like he started out as a comic, but like he only did it just to not do comedy anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like he got in it just to get out of it, just to get more famous in new movies. Adam Sandler's another example. So like, yeah, they're comics. Sure, I get technically, but like I don't view them as pure stand-ups. Ray Romano's another good example, right? Like Seinfeld.
Yep. They use it to propel themselves to something else, yeah.
And I know a lot of people be like, that's the fucking, well, who cares? Whatever, fine. Everybody has their own opinion, right? But like Patrice was a stand-up. You know what I'm saying? Like Dave Chappelle, yeah, he had the Chappelle show, but like he never stopped doing comedy. Like he was doing comedy through that whole time, like as opposed to the other guys who just like, again, check the fuck out. So like to me, that's a pure stand-up. If you do improv, you're not a stand-up comic. You're an improv person. Like that's not the same. Like if you do sketch comedy, that's not comedian. You're a fucking sketch comic, which is again, that's hard in itself. I'm not taking away from it. I'm just saying you're not a fucking comedian. So like Colbert, yeah, he was a very funny like character comic type person.
He was definitely an improv guy, right? That was his roots, I think. Yeah.
Improv fucking sucks, dude. Fucking improv fucking. Like, here's the thing about improv.
They're like the drama nerds of the comedy world.
Yes, that's a great way of putting it. 100%.
Okay. Yeah.
Like, improv is like, there's two types of improv: great improv and everything else sucks. There's no, like, you could watch comics who are like, that guy was pretty good, right? And then you could watch comics who are like, that guy was great, or like, that guy sucked. But there's levels. Like, improv, man, I've seen bad improv, and you're like, oh, I would rather hang myself from this fucking balcony right now than continue this bullshit.
Yeah.
But then, like, you watch, like, the really high level guys, like Middleditch and Schwartz, they're really good. And again, I don't like them personally. Like, I think their politics are shit. They're fucking, again, woke Hollywood people. But if you watch their improv, you're like, oh, all right, it's like they're like the best, of, some of the best of the best. But improv's fucking trash. But Colbert turned, of course, with all the corporate money. Jimmy Kimmel, right? Another guy who did the Man Show,
right?
Did blackface, and Karl Malone. He's like, I think you're all racist. Like, fuck you, dude.
I got my first Twitter ban from saying that Jimmy Kimmel was a star fucking whore.
You got banned for that?
Yes. Both times I got banned. Well, it might have been sorry, that was a 12-hour. But the time the next one on that first account was calling Howard Stern a whore. Because I think you can't sexually deprave anybody, whether they're famous or whatever. That's so. But what I was trying to say is that these two gentlemen are corporate sluts, that they will say whatever, Viacom or,
Well, Stern's a great example of that, right? Like, again, the guy literally broke open, like, the doors for everybody else, like podcasting, O&A for sure. Like, they'll even admit it. Like, if you hear Anthony Cumia talk today, he's like, yeah, Howard was the first guy. Like 100%. And, and then he became such a fucking cuck piece of shit over the fucking time because of all the millions and millions of dollars. It's like, you say this, you don't get this money anymore. But it's like you would, I don't like guys who already made it. Like, you'll always have a following. Like, it's like
they gatekeep instead, though.
Yes, they gatekeep instead. Exactly.
That's the old model. Like, Rogan talks a lot about that.
Yes.
Right? Like, TV in the old days, you had to fight for one spot or something. Now, like, the culture's changing. That's maybe why you're seeing all these kind of like friends. Like, Rogan's group of friends just for Sober October is like, whatever, probably 5 dudes. They're like, we're all fucking working out and, rooting each other on. Like, it's, it's kind of a new thing.
Yeah. Oh, it's definitely, again, if you hear like Patrice talk back in the day, like, it was like cutthroat. Like, and like they treated new comics like shit, which honestly though is like kind of good also,
right?
Because it makes you tougher in a way. And like I got like zero guidance when I first started. Like no one helped me. No one was like, hey man, you should do this, or like, yeah, I'll take you on the road, or like I'll do a show, I'll book you on this show and help you. It's like, no, it was like, figure it the fuck out. And then now, like, I find like I have younger comics that like I take on the road with me, like fucking Blaze and shit, right? Like Blaze did the Delaware show with us, and like I take him on the road with me because like he's my friend. I'm gonna help him out. Like, it's just like this. It's this crazy thing that it used to be, and like it doesn't have to be like that. Like, everyone could do it. Like, you don't have to just weird gatekeeping bullshit. It's fucking stupid. It's like there's different tastes for everybody. Like if you like Mark Normand, you might not like fucking Big J. You probably do, but I'm just saying, like, you might be like, oh, Mark's great, or like Big J's great, but like I don't really care for Mark Normand. But like they're both great comics. But there's like a room for all of these people, even the fucking shitty woke comics. Like, there's room for them too, it's out there somewhere. They won't sell out, and there'd be like 7 people in there, and full of white people. But like, there's a room for it.
That is weird, man. Yeah, the woke comics. I just, when we were coming up, man. I know we're close in age. Like, I just remember the left had a lock on anything cultural, specifically comedy, and anything cool was coming out of the left. And somewhere in the last, maybe 10 to 12 years, I don't know, post George Bush GOP rebranding of the conservative wing or something. I don't know what happened, man. But it's funny we brought him up. Jon Stewart, to me, at one point, I remember watching The Daily Show thinking that this was like, again, this is probably pre-Facebook and all that shit. But this is like as anti-authoritarian as it gets on, like the television at least. Like you got this guy who is at least, going after the power structure a little bit. Like I was probably saying the same thing about Michael Moore at the time. But I want to bring this up, dude, because Jon Stewart has another show. It's kind of like The Daily Show, except...
Why would the state...
No laugh track and... Yeah, but he still always puts himself on with somebody with a southern accent
Apple
so he can seem smart. But yeah, I just wanted to check this out with you and check out the current state of the clown world, bro.
Why would the state of Arkansas step in to override parents, physicians, psychiatrists, endocrinologists who have developed guidelines?
Why do you hate the experts, and why would you stop them from doing their work with these kids?
Why would you override those guidelines?
Well, I think it's important that all of those physicians, all of those experts, for every single one of them, there's an expert that says we don't need to allow children to be able to take.
Right.
It's like they fucking. Oh, again, they only want to affirm what they want to hear. So they'll find doctors who are like, yeah, you could totally pump kids full of shit and it won't alter their growth. It's like, hey, I'm retarded, and yeah, it will. like I don't know shit, but I know if you pump a young growing child, male or female, full of hormones or hormone blockers or whatever the fuck, that's going to fuck them up. Like that's been told to us, by the way, forever. Like if you don't get, remember when we were kids and like if you don't get like testosterone as a kid, like it's gonna fuck you up and like you're gonna like stunt your growth. Apparently, all that changed now. And now, like, you can totally take away testosterone. And like the biggest lie they go is when like it doesn't do anything. And in fact, if we want to take them off it, they'll go right back to the normal growth pattern. Dude, no, it won't. Nothing in the world's like that. No natural thing is like that ever. Like it's such bullshit.
It doesn't work, and I think that he knows it. He's too smart to not know it. But let's check out this.
Take those medications. That there are many instances where.
But that's not true. It's
so
not for everyone. There's one. These are the established.
Well, I don't know that that's not true. I don't know that.
Then why would you pass a law then if you don't know that that's true? Wouldn't you?
Well, I know that there are doctors and that we had plenty of people come and testify before our legislature who said that.
Doesn't this piss you off that you have to be on the side of the fucking government?
Yeah, it does.
It does to me. God damn you.
It does piss me off.
We have 98% of the young people who have gender dysphoria that they are able to move past that. And once they have the help that they need, no longer suffer from gender dysphoria. 98% without that medical treatment.
That's an incredibly made up figure.
Say he's such a cunt.
He's such a cunt.
He's such a cunt, which is
you can't have a normal conversation with this lady. Like, are you serious interviewer now? Because it feels like you're serious interviewer now. And if you are, how about being less of a prick?
That doesn't comport with any of the
doctors I choose to listen to. Is what he's saying.
Right.
Right. He's like, your doctors are fake, but mine are real.
What medical association are you talking about?
Oh, which one is
these
that?
Doctors?
Well, we have all of that in our legislative history, and we'll be glad to provide that to you. I don't have the name of that off.
Gotcha. You don't have the name of that thing. It's so dumb, dude.
Top of my head, I know it's something that
you don't have the name of the organization that
off
you're
the
getting
top
that
of my head.
Oh, okay.
But yes, we have all of that cited in all of our briefs.
You're suggesting that protecting children means overriding the recommendations of the American Medical Association, the American Association of Pediatrics, the Endocrine Society.
We don't have enough data. We don't have enough to show that these drugs are effective and that these children are better off, and that we should encourage these.
Or it's not enough for you. Let me try and flip it a different way.
What a dickhead!
And I want to punch him in his fucking face.
It's so. Oh, you don't have the data? Like, well, people haven't been doing this that long. Oh my God! Where do you hear this next part, bro?
Let's see if maybe this can help. In Arkansas, if you have pediatric cancer. And obviously, we all want to protect children. I think we established that earlier.
No, you don't.
Whose
actually,
guidelines do you follow for pediatric cancer?
Well, I think if my child, who is 4, if I was faced with that terrible decision, then I would be speaking to my doctor. And if my doctor recommended something that I disagreed with, then I would get a second opinion. And that's what I believe that these parents need to make sure that they're encouraged to get numerous opinions.
This is what I tell everybody who talks about this stuff. Like when they go, oh, so you don't believe in doctors? What if you break your arm? I go, there's no agenda behind a broken arm.
Right.
There's no agenda behind
cancer.
There's agenda behind cancer.
Oh,
but I'm, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's the exact same thing. If a parent needs to get their kid help because they're dying, That's the same thing as wanting to get them chemically castrated, bro.
Right. It's all about an agenda. And like, again, if I break my arm, if I fucking shatter something, if I, again, cancer, like there's no agenda to culturally push that because everyone's not breaking their arm. You know what I'm saying? It's not a phenomenon of a broken arm. It's the same thing with the fucking jab, all that shit. Like, because there's no agenda behind that. That's why this is a clear agenda behind. It's a social push. It's a social cultural push for an agenda. It's like, I don't fucking understand. And he does know that, but he won't admit it because then it hurts his handlers. You know, it hurts the fucking message. Yeah. So he has to just keep going, interesting that I'm smarter than you. It's like, you're not, John. You're not smarter than her. And like these doctors that you are cherry picking for your data, well, she's just going, well, we talked to other doctors who fucking disagree with these doctors, and they're going, well, no, they're wrong. Why are they wrong and your doctors are right? Ask him that question. You know, like, why are your doctors right, but the doctors we speak to are wrong? They're all part of the AMA, I'm sure. Yeah. Right? So why are my doctors who are saying that you shouldn't do this for the AMA wrong, but your doctors pushing for it from the AMA are right? It doesn't make sense. It's just complete bullshit agenda push.
It really is. And it just breaks my heart to see this guy who, or maybe, you know, you just need to unlearn things. You know, maybe Jon Stewart was never cool. But The Daily Show I thought was cool at some point. When he fucking served those assholes, Tucker Carlson and that other guy on Crossfire for being like, you know, just basic propagandists on fake news. This is fucking awesome. You know what I mean? So to see him kind of just shill for, you know, the American Medical Association or whatever, you know, institution is pushing this bullshit. It's just fucking tragic, dude.
Agree.
You hate to see it. Also, though, trending was another comedian, MMA enthusiast, podcaster. You familiar with this guy? His name's Joe Rogan.
I haven't heard.
You've heard his work?
I haven't heard of Joe. Who's this Joe Rogan you speak of?
Yeah, he's the triple threat. It's pretty neat. But yeah, he had on the guy who started, or maybe he's in charge of Rolling Stone magazine. And that guy was pushing for, again, I guess more woke. This is probably not woke shit. It's just dumb shit. But this guy wants to have the government come in and break up big tech. So let's hear what Joe Rogan has to say about that. And I'll just preface this by saying it feels like he might have had a radical ANCAP on the show recently, which kind of helped. It was pretty neat. So check this out.
Is to regulate the internet? Do you think that makes any sense?
Well, wait a minute. I would not. The people who got us into the Iraq War.
It's the government.
Was the politicians.
It's the government.
In the end, yes, it's the government. But who else is going to regulate?
But if they're going to be in power and they're regulating the internet,
who else is going to regulate it? Like, I'll use that word, regulate. Like, who else is going to regulate it?
They all blatantly tell you the truth, right?
Yeah.
They all just go like, well, who else is supposed to control the narrative?
Right.
No one.
Things are hard, so they have to get fixed, right?
It's like, but who else is supposed to push down the people pushing back against me? I don't understand. It's like, that's what they all act like. It's like, no one. That's the point. You fucking monster.
Yeah. Come on, guy.
They're going to regulate the internet in a way that suits their best interests. The same way they do with the banking industry, the same way they do with the environment, the same way they do with energy. The same way they do with everything.
No,
what represents their interests? There's so much. You're talking about so much money involved in disseminating information in a very particular way.
The richest companies right now are the internet companies. They're rich beyond belief.
Yeah, but it's a disruptive thing that has never existed before. I think it exists, and I think where we're at is where we're at. I think we need to move forward collectively as a country with an ethic that respects truth and that it appreciates opinions and reality and an understanding of things that's not necessarily possible with corporate interest involved in the dissemination of information.
But there's no way to do that except through the government.
There's no way to do that except only the government could do that.
There's no way you can do that except through the government.
Why is that?
Human nature is not going to change.
But the government's not going to change either.
But the government is capable of change.
Pause.
Okay, look.
This is what the most hypocritical bullshit ever. Humans can't change, but the government could do. Who is in the government?
We just have to elect the
whales?
right people, bro.
Like who's dolphins are in the running the government? No, it's people. So therefore, you're going against what you're fucking saying again, just to push your dumb fucking agenda point. That's how fucking brain dead these people are. Like he's counteract. Jesus Christ, I can't even fucking speak now. He's countering his own point with the very next sentence he says. He's like, people are flawed. 1, 2, government needs to step in then because they're not flawed. Okay, what's 3 then? Who runs government? It's like it's such bullshit.
And we're talking, dude, here's one more counterculture icon that we can put right on top of Howard Stern, Jon Stewart, and here's fucking Rolling Stone. Just cucked.
This was the same guy 50 years ago, 40 years ago, who'd be like, fucking tear it down, man. And now he's like, we need all of the protection we can get from government. It's a joke.
Yeah, absolutely.
The government regulates, for example, the food supply, or it can regulate. Let's take the
food supply.
Yeah, the Department of Agriculture.
Why have they let go?
Isn't it going great? The way that they regulate the food supply, the U.S. Department of Agriculture, it's going great.
Glyphosate infestate all of our foods.
Let's take what's one thing.
Yeah. I love it. Joe Rogan is not letting up on it. It's like jujitsu, bro.
Yeah.
No. Don't say that because they got the glyphosate in the food, bro. He doesn't let them even breathe.
Larry Sharp always makes a good point to counteract when people say, like, well, what about the food? He goes, you guys know the kosher symbol, like that little K that's on like a lot of food? It's like for Jewish people who want to eat kosher. That's an independent company. It's not like the government puts that K on there. And his whole point was like, he's like, companies want that K on their product because they know they'll make more money if they have the stamp of approval from the Jewish people that they look up to that company, the K stamp, right?
Yep.
So he's like, it's the same exact thing. If you take away the fucking federal government, so you just have a different private company that you could choose to respect or not. They could put their mark on it, like, no, we tested this. This is okay. And then it's up to you, the fucking consumer, right? To fucking go, well, okay, well, this chip company chose to get their shit tested and this one didn't. So I'm going to go with the one that did. And then the other one's going to probably fail because they're not going to have many people buy their shit. And that's the true free market that we want, right? But like these dumb fucks are like, only flawed human beings who are in a position of power could tell me what I can and can't eat. It's like, oh, because you're dumb.
Only a monolithic entity that should tell me what I can eat and what I cannot. So no, that's the perfect example. People will pay for, that K.
Yeah.
Good call, bro.
Yeah, but that's a problem. That's the
I
government
agree.
regulating.
Well, then we better get better politicians in them to
just need better people. This is the status flaw.
Why haven't I ever thought of that? No one's ever thought we should get better people. And oh my god, dude, this guy's brilliant. You know what? I take everything I said back. It's like,
imagine an old man saying that too. Like at the
right.
Like, I'm not saying he's like old, but he's
older than us.
He's older than us. He's probably 60. You've seen a good amount of more shit, and you're just like, well, need better people. Like,
it's crazy.
Yeah, I'm already sick of that. Have been for a while.
Support better people. I mean, it's not. Again, don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good.
Right.
Okay. So, let's take the SEC or take the Food and Drug Administration, which regulates big pharma. On the one hand, we've got a very safe supply of drugs in us.
We've got a very safe supply of
people
drugs.
for 20 years.
Oh my god, dude! Can you imagine?
Oh my god, it's such a joke, dude.
Yeah.
What a fucking piece of shit.
Yeah.
And like he's struggling through this. And Joe only said like 2 things.
Yep.
And that's how you know this guy's surrounded by other fucking yes men, like we were just saying before, right? He's probably said this shit all the time around his dumb friends who go, yeah, bro. And then he goes against one person who's like, no, that's dumb, and here's why.
Yep.
Because of glyphosates, whatever the fuck. And this guy's like, oh, hold on now.
Yep.
It's like he's immediately flustered.
Right.
He's never had to ever think about his thoughts before. And you and I, it's all we have to do is constantly argue people in the real world about why our ideas are better than theirs. So we're well more conditioned to be like, no, I have actually 30 things I could cite as to why I'm probably right and you're wrong. And this guy has nothing. He has literally nothing besides his own dumb fucking mind that he came up with this dumb shit with.
Bro, do you think that Joe Rogan will let him go without mentioning anything about Big Pharma? let's find out.
Exactly.
This country,
He's probably gonna say weed.
Their drugs are tested. You don't get too many bad drugs. Prescribed drugs.
25% of all drugs approved by the FDA get recalled.
Ooh, snap! That's a bad ratio.
What was the heartburn medication? Prilosec?
Yeah.
Cancer.
Yep. That fucked a bunch of people up.
But that was approved.
OTC.
That was approved.
Celebrex, was that the other one? Like an arthritis drug, I think, that they put on the market. Fuck some people up.
This is why though I refuse to take almost anything, like truly almost anything, because I don't trust it. And it's like, yeah, this isn't even like a conspiracy theorist angle. This is just like, no. If you have eyes and ears and a semi-talented brain in your head, or you could fucking piece together like, oh, they put out oxycodone and pushed it for how long? Killed thousands of people. Prilosec, cancer. The other thing, cancer. This, cancer. That, cancer. It's everything is fucked. So why would I, a youngish 35-year-old,
youngish, seriously,
healthy dude, relatively healthy guy, be like, oh, let me just take this medicine because I have dude, I fucking nothing. Like even Xanax, all that shit. Fuck you, dude. Never in a fucking million. When I was younger and I had all the brain, I mean, I still have it, but like all the brain trauma and stuff like that, I was like going through like really like depressed points of my life. And like I had like a lot of anxiety and stuff. Cause like, when you have brain trauma and like your chemicals are just fucking firing all over the place and everything's fucked and your brain doesn't work properly. As you just saw me try to get through that sentence. So I was on Lexapro and Seroquel.
Oh yeah.
Which is like so fucking bad for you. In fact, a lot of veterans were coming back taking Seroquel and they were calling it Serokill because they were just fucking shooting themselves.
Oh my God.
And it's like, I was like, oh, wait a minute. I'm done with this. And not recommended, but I went cold turkey. I just stopped taking all of it. I was like, I'm completely done. Completely fucking done with this. And it's like, I'm glad I did it, because who the fuck knows what that was doing to my brain? Making it worse, better? Probably not. I wasn't feeling any better. It's probably putting holes in my fucking goddamn head. I don't fucking know. But like, all I know is don't take that. Don't take that shit. Like, this is not good for you.
It's definitely
it fucks
not,
your liver.
Dude.
Like,
oh, it's so bad, dude. I remember, there was one. There was a quit smoking drug called Zyban, like 20 years ago or something, and it was like the same exact drug as Wellbutrin, which was, an antidepressant of the early 2000s. They just figured it out. They was, it's the same exact drug. We can use this antidepressant for quitting smoking. It's all tied in, dude. Like you get your depression drugs when you hit your cigarette. You just also get like cancer and all that other good stuff too at the same time.
Chantix.
Right. That stuff was
in the
fucking
comments,
people up, bro.
Tim, continue. I can't even fucking read.
Tim,
Jesus
continue.
Christ.
Chantix, my boy took that. He was having the worst dreams of his life. Fucking suicidal thoughts, dude. I've heard that from multiple people.
Yep.
In fact, while we're here, let's just read some comments. Time Continuum said, Chantix, yeah, fuck that shit. The dude, Year Zero, says the clown world defined by a clown.
Tommy's the man. I love Tommy.
I love him. He was the first guy to ever invite me on a podcast.
Oh, really?
Shout
so
out
he's to blame?
He's the fucking guy. Yeah. When we started talking about Klaus Schwab and been pals ever since.
Actually, Tommy, I gotta get you on the Porcupine, dude. Hit me up on Twitter, my new Twitter.
This is not the time for you to solicit for podcasts, bro. I'm just kidding. Solicit. In fact, go on his show. Yeah, that would be great. Hector Ruse says the growing popularity of cannabis is the only major cultural change to parallel the rise of independent comics like Nutter. Yes, I guess.
Well, I guess all comics are independent.
Yeah, right.
Also, I don't really understand that point. Am I just dumb?
You gotta be high to watch this. I mean, I love smoking weed and then watching some comedy. It does make shit funnier. So it's absolutely true. And Legend said, "Just subscribe to you from England. Thanks,
nice.
Bro. Appreciate it, man. Good looking out." All right, dude. A couple more things before we get on out of here. I like this. Like I said, I'm hiding in the wings in Twitter. So I like watching what's trending. And today, the word demonic was trending. So I followed the shit out of that. Like, let me see what's going on. And it was mostly our boy Ye out here talking to Tucker Carlson, which is apparently this is like a cultural moment. But let's check this out. And,
I saw a little bit of this.
Yeah, check this out.
I've been winning these battles, right? And they thought they had me. Here we go.
My apologies. Here we go.
I've been winning these battles, right? And they thought they had me. They had the idea that Ye was bullying what I think the liberal term is a body goes black woman. Now let's talk about Gabby and my good friend Lizzo. Lizzo works with my trainer, a friend of mine, Hardly
No,
past
she doesn't.
How is she working? Is she really?
What is
She
he
might know
training?
her.
How to eat donuts at a fucking clip? Like what?
Is she a flute teacher? She's training the flute? Come on.
Hardly Pasternak. When Lizzo loses 10 pounds and announces it, the bots,
He's right.
that's a term for people like, it's like telemarketer callers, like on Instagram, they attack her for losing weight because the media wants to put out a perception that being overweight is the new goal.
Kanye's
when it's
awesome.
actually
They do that.
They do 100% do that. It's like well, we all saw it during COVID, right? It was do everything but work out and get sunlight and get vitamins. It was everything. They were offering you donuts, burgers, the worst shit to get a get a jab instead of just, again, hey, you should exercise and take care of yourself. That's never perpetuated in fucking culture anymore. And like he is right. Remember Adele when she lost all the weight? People were like, "How dare you?" It's like, how dare her want to live long enough to raise her daughter?
Yeah.
Like, you fucking pieces of shit. Like, go fuck you. Like, it's really, truly awful. Like, these people are fucking garbage, dude.
By the way, since we've already shit on Howard Stern, and that guy just is such a fucking fraud, I saw some video of him the other day from the 90s when he was such a fucking, just like a whore. And he had Anna Nicole Smith on, dude, going, why don't you get over there and get on the scale? Just go show everybody what you're on the scale. This poor woman, dude, who fucking, died later from pills and depression and all this shit. Was just like in the corner going, I don't want to. I don't want to do it. It was so, I felt like I was in a parallel universe, dude. Actually,
it was wild.
It was pretty demonic.
Unhealthy. Let's get aside the fact of whether it's fashion and Vogue, which is not. Let's just, or if someone thinks it's attractive, to each his own. It's actually clinically unhealthy.
Stop right there. Yeah, like why is it? This is the clown world, dude. Why can't he say this on television without getting fucking, so much heat? It's weird. It is unhealthy. I saw an ad the other day for 7XL women's workout clothes. Like if you're 7XL, I don't know, you shouldn't be advertising like, active wear. You should be like, you should have to go get that shit specially made to get yourself down to a 4XL or something, and then maybe market it.
Well, that's what, like, when Lizzo played that flute, right, the crystal flute from Madison, whatever. The left was like, "Oh, you guys just don't want to see a black woman play a white man's flute." It's like, no, it's because she's representing our culture, and she's a fat fucking mess. Yeah. It's like that's the problem.
That would be the main issue. Come on.
And for people to promote that. It's demonic.
Can I ask?
Yeah.
I've noticed this also.
Yeah.
Why do you think
you black?
they would want to?
It's like I just noticed you're black.
I'm sorry, you're black.
But I have a personal weight story because I play, people who know me, but people who don't know me. I played football competitively, like from 12 to like 24, 25 years old, like full pads. Like I played semi-professional football. I did MMA for a little bit too, and as soon as I stopped training and playing football, there's like a point of every athlete's life for a lot of not every athlete, a lot of athletes where you're so tired of the regiment and like training all the time and trying to eat right and stuff. When you quit, you're like, oh, I'm done. Like I'm just done. And I just want to fucking eat all of the stuff. So I went from 205 of like solid, I was like muscle, dude. Like I was fucking, like I had like a 2-pack. I was like fucking, my arms were fucking big. I was looking good. From that, and I went from 205 of muscle to 265 of fucking fat.
Yeah, I've heard that, dude. Like if you don't maintain it, it will just turn to.
I was still eating like I was playing football and doing it, and I was not. And then that was like 3 years of my life. 3 years, I was like so fat, and I'm 6 feet, so 6 foot 265, and like not muscle. So and I felt like absolute shit. I felt like shit about my appearance. I felt like shit internally. I got my gallbladder removed because of fucking it was like infected. Like it was so bad. And then I was like, oh wait a minute, stop, idiot. Like I had to like tell myself like, dude, you were a fucking athlete. What are you doing? Then I just lost all the weight. Now I am, you see, the 165 muscle-less skin bag before you.
I did see when I was trying to make the tile for the episode. I went back in your pictures, and yeah, there was like it's like, oh man, this motherfucker lost like 100 pounds.
I did actually lose 100 pounds in a year.
Yeah, you look like another person. You definitely looked more like a cop then.
Yeah, which is a bummer because like I don't really have any pictures. I have like very few pictures of me playing football. This is back in like 2004, 5, 6 when like we weren't taking as much pictures and shit back. It just was different. It was like a different time. So I don't really have that many pictures of me doing it. I have some, but like not a lot. So like, I was like embarrassed. Like that's like embarrassing. Like I was ever like that. Like for 3 years, a long fucking time too. Like 3-4 years, a long fucking time. And then you're like, dude, what are you? But that's the other thing too is like, people don't want to do the work. Now, did I work out? No, I just stopped eating like junk. I intermittent fasted and I lost 100 pounds in 1 year. It's very doable. Anyone could do it. You gotta just care, right? It's that simple. And again, I worked out 0%. In fact, the running joke is like I look like I'm in shape, but I'm not. like on Cult of Us the other day, one of our fans bet us that I couldn't do 30 sit-ups in a row, and I did. I did, but I struggled.
Yeah, all right. So I have faith that you could definitely do 30 sit-ups. Come on.
I did 30, but I was like, my ego took me there. Pride took me to 30.
I'm literally on film right now. I'm not doing this.
That's what it was. But like, I was like, oh, I'm out of shape. But at least I'm not like, I'm out of shape. Like my cardio sucks. And like, yeah, I got to build my muscle back up, which I could do if I wanted to. My point is though, like, I'm not eating fucking sugar every fucking day. I'm not eating carbs every day. Like, it's like, I'm still healthier. Way healthier. I'm 165 fucking pounds. I go between 165 and 170, depending on what I eat that week, right? Like I flip flop. But like I'm always around there. But I could blow up again if I just kept eating.
Yeah.
Right. But like I don't. Like my wife brought home a homemade fucking like whoopie moon pie, whatever the fuck they're called.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, these are so fucking good. Right. But you gotta be like, no, this is just pure sugar. This is just pure sugar. So I had like 2 during Sunday football. I had like 1 during the afternoon games and then 1 time at the night game. And like, I won't have any more until next Sunday. That's my fucking reward for like just not eating like shit all week. I go football Sunday. That's when I'll eat like shit. And then Monday through Saturday, I'm fucking just not doing that. It's like, but everyone could do it. Just do it. Just do it. Nike that shit.
Yeah. And if you're seriously obese, you should do it all the time. Like just try harder all the time. Not because whatever. It's not about looks, man. It's about health. And yeah, Lizzo is, I guess, like an idol to like women, girls.
Fat women.
Yeah, right. Body positivity. Somebody who's my boy Pug said that. Body positivity. That's the word of the day. Yeah, I don't know. I feel bad about it. Everybody, to each their own. You can live however you want, but don't act like that's just like the way you should be. That's
the thing is like, listen, man, if you want to do that, go for it, right? We're libertarians. We're not going to tell you what to do. It's the bullshit behind it that I can't stand. Like everything else in this country, it's society, right? It's like no, actually, it's positive. No, it's not. Oh, it's healthy. No, right. You're just lying. This is just a lie. This isn't preference anymore. You're actively lying against. And then young kids watch that shit, and you fucking poison their fucking brains to be like, well, Lizzo's famous, so I could be for. You're also can't sing, can't play an instrument. And you just think you could be at 400 pounds and fucking be famous. You can't.
Right. There's that, and Kanye knows that the kids in the hood don't have Whole Foods. They have the Twinkies
McDonald's.
and the Ho-Hos. They have that shit. And they're starting to look like little Lizzos. So they need those role models to look like them. And when they're going to, man, we touched a lot tonight, but Big Pharma at this point, bro, looks pretty much like they want cradle to grave customers. Sooner you got the diabetes, sooner you got the thing that needs the constant treatment. That's what we want.
Because exactly. They want constant. That's like every time, someone comes up with a cure for cancer, they die. It's like because constant treatment makes money and cures make no money. There's no money in cures. There's only money in fucking treatment. So of course,
that's it. We'll give Kanye the rest of his time here. He's only got a little bit left. Maybe let's see what he's got to say.
Promote unhealthiness among the population.
It's a genocide of the black race.
Oh, bro. Remember when he said George Bush does not care about black people? I feel like this is 100 times that. This was fucking, they are literally genociding all black people. This is fucking crazy.
They want to kill us in any way they can. Planned Parenthood was made by Margaret Sanger, a known eugenics with the KKK, and I believe that if we saw ourselves as a people and not a race, then we would treat our people better. Like if you go to a Jewish person and you say a race, it almost gets confusing. They'll cut you off quickly and say, we're not a race, we're a people. Well,
sounds pretty anti-Semitic.
Our people are supposed to just say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud. Okay, well, what about, do you own the land that you're living in? Do you own, is the contracts I've been with?
Dude, I mean, first of all, you could tell that he's done research on what he's talking about. He's not just he's not shooting from the hip. Like that whole the Planned Parenthood thing is dead on. Like how many black babies are aborted? It's like you are killing your own like you're killing your own people, race, however he wants to put it. He's right. I mean, white people do it too, but at a much lesser clip, right? So it's like, yeah, you're actively killing the black population, and then you're gonna sit there and be like, it's for women's rights. Like, how about a young black kid? He doesn't get that chance to grow up and fucking try to succeed. Like, it's crazy. It's fucking absolutely insane.
And 3 generations of that culture on top of each other, dude, in the hood, combined with the diet, combined with the lack of education, combined with lack of economic opportunity, dude, like literally. This is why I do have a little bit. I remember what it was like to be a leftist. Like, it is fucking, the kids in the hood don't have a fucking shot.
Yeah, it's rough.
They really don't. So yeah, man, Lizzo, maybe just be better. Like, you're a role model, so take a cue from Kanye and maybe like just try to be better for your own community or whatever. But anyway, bro, I had one more thing, and it was LP shit, and I feel like fucking skipping it because we had a whole episode without any Libertarian Party shit. So I'm just gonna skip that for tonight.
All right.
Just say fuck it, dude, because it's LP stuff, and I'm always talking about that crap.
I know.
Here, almost obsessively. So I really kind of enjoyed just talking about the cultural shit and some comedy stuff with you. But tell everybody where they can find your stuff and find your comedy, find your shows.
If you guys want to check out The Porcupine, that's the political podcast I do. Dave was just on it, I think, an episode or 2 ago, I believe. Yep. So go to youtube.com/AdamNutter. All the subscriptions help. Please go there and subscribe and like and all that shit, please, and tell your friends. If you guys do what we did tonight and barely talk about anything political and just fucking talk about comedy, Cult of Us right here, wearing it on my hat. I do with the great Neil Wood. Again, you guys can just see us together on a Real House podcast with Luke J. Gomez and Zach Amico. That was a fun episode. YouTube.com/Cult of Us, at Adam Nutter on Instagram, and at Tattooed Comic on Twitter, because I was also nuked. so go follow the new Twitter.
They got us by the balls, don't they?
I'm praying Elon can get our account back somehow.
Dude, real quick before we go, I gotta tell you this. The other night, I've been just every week I'll send them a thing that says, nope, I protest this. This is I didn't break any rules. Give me my account back. 8 times I just get, nope, it's permanently suspended. Last week I got one that said, we made a mistake. We didn't mean to do this to your account, and it's reinstated. Enjoy yourself. Have fun on Twitter. I went back and I saw my original fucking Dave versus Goliath account. It was right there, dude. It was like 8:30, 9 o'clock at night. I changed my profile pic. It worked. I changed my banner. It worked. I sent out one post. It worked. Somebody liked it. And then they were like, you've been zapped. Yeah, like I wrote them back. I'm fighting it again, but I feel like I put a dent in the machine, bro. I'm going for it. So
but I would just copy that email.
I did. I said, oh, you already let me in. You told me it was a mistake. So now I'm going off your mistake. So don't make any more mistakes or I'll contact my lawyer type shit. Yeah. It's in your hands now, Twitter. Give me my motherfucking shit. Yeah. Every week, bro. Just send them one in and, let them know that you ain't playing around.
I'm going to do that.
Yeah. Do it up. Bro, I really appreciate you being here, man.
I appreciate
you. You are a funny man. Let me tell you that.
Thanks.
Thanks, Adam. I mean it, bro.
Thank you, brother.
Peace, dude. Ladies and gentlemen, appreciate you being here. Episode 34 in the bank. He's a good dude. I'm sure we'll talk about more LP stuff next time, but it was kind of fun to just have a normal conversation like a normal human being. Yeah, and I hope we can find Dan out there who's just drifting around the fucking multiverse alone. God, I hope he's okay. Any hooser, I'll see you next week with motorcycle enthusiast Josh Smith. All right, guys? Peace. See you then.
Now